joining me. Hope you all are well. Hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. And please be safe on your journey this week. I'm going to bring you a very disturbing story out of Florida. Very, very disturbing case. Homestead man accused of raping 97-year-old woman. This black man is 66 years of age. His name is Timothy Morse, Homestead, Florida, Miami-Dade area. Hospice is where this sick event took place. Nursing staff noticed a discharge coming from the vagina of the 97-year-old woman. They notified her niece, who is her overseer, and she decided to put a Ring camera in the room. And 2 a.m., but 2 p.m., she noticed a figure in the room, which was this elderly man here, and he sexually assaulted her aunt. Well, he was arrested. He is currently in jail. Right now, bond is going to be set, I guess, at some point, but right now there is no bond. There will be a bond. As Stock Market Steve says, he should be in a hole, and I totally agree. Feel free to check out his content, the Dynamic Reason channel. He gave us the business pertaining to this fella. This is horrific. I couldn't find a video on this content, so I'm just showing you a still photo of this elderly man. On his channel, he said that the guy, I think he said that he's related to the elderly lady, that he's the nephew. I've looked at a few articles. I didn't see where they said that he was related to her, but in the articles, each are saying he assisted with her care when the nursing staff wasn't available. So I'm assuming he had to know the lady, because they didn't say that he was a caretaker. You know what I mean? He wasn't a staff member at the hospice or nursing facility or hospital. So I'm assuming he knew this lady, because you have to ask yourself, what was he doing there? Why was he there? Friend of a family, a friend of the family, friend of the elderly lady? Was he somebody she knew, or he was a relative? When I can get confirmation, I'll bring you that information. But I heard that he was allegedly her nephew. Anyway, it's even worse if he's a nephew. Let's just keep it real. I mean, assault is assault. But the fact that you would get on top of your relative or ejaculate on your relative, are you serious? And this lady was bedridden, I believe nonverbal. Don't know what her health situation is at the time. Right now or at that time, but the point is she's in there for a reason. And I think we all know why people are in hospice care. But in the end, it doesn't matter. Hospice, hospital, nursing home, assisted living, you have no right to violate another human being. This is disturbing. While I was trying to search for content in the YouTube queue for a video, there was a case out of Sacramento. Elderly white man had done the same to a incapacitated lady or elderly lady, and she ended up dying. The family sued him. I don't know what's the wranglings with that. This was last summer, late summer, case out of California, and they were showing him walking in the court, walking down the sidewalk with his lawyer, and I was just looking at him, and I was just like, here's this man, able-bodied, walking. How do you fix yourself to go in a room and shut the door to violate an elderly person? You're already old your damn self, and you're violating somebody that's older than you. What the hell is wrong with you? You can't go out here and get you a woman. And he was a chaplain. He was a chaplain at this facility. And the family member, the daughter, said, I knew something wasn't right with him. So she put a camera in the room as well, and she and the husband watched the chaplain assault her mother. Wow, wow, wow. You can't make this stuff up. So I commented under that video and said, well, sadly, it has happened again, because the daughter said, I pray that this never happens to any other family. Well, ma'am, it has happened. It has happened all the way across the eastern seaboard at the bottom of the country down in Miami-Dade. A black man has decided to do what the chaplain did out in California. He has decided to assault a 97-year-old woman. I'm dead. I'm not laughing. It's more of a gasp because it is even hard reading it, and how many times I read different articles, basically repeating the same information because I was trying to see if somebody had something, different than the other article. It's hard even reading it. And even when Stock Market Steve gave commentary on his channel, I literally was about to cut the video off because I was about to throw up. I was just like, have we become this barbaric as people? I just don't understand any man wanting to sexually assault another human. Why? I don't care who it is. Why? And if you're assaulting a 97-year-old person that's almost 100 years old, bedridden, can't talk, can't say anything, do anything, respond back, what have you been doing up until you're 66 years? Come on now. You're looking at this person who can't talk, can't do anything. Maybe they can just, roll their eyes around the room. But that's it. They're not saying anything. They're not doing anything. They ain't sitting upright. They ain't drinking a cup of water, orange juice. They ain't doing nothing but just lying there. And you're looking at them saying to yourself, I want to have sex with this person. I'm going to sexually assault this person. Face to do it. I don't understand. As Steve said on his channel, he needs to be put in a hole. Lord have mercy, when he was talking, I was screaming. He's damn right. This black buzzard needs to bypass all court proceedings and be dropped head first into a hole. Head first. Now he's sitting here looking all pitiful and sad-eyed like a puppy dog. If you didn't see this title up here and you just saw the mug shot, you'd be saying, oh my gosh, what did that old man do? So let's role play. Look at the photograph. And if you did not read the title of my video and had not heard what I've said the first 7 minutes of this video, what would you have assumed this man had done? I'll wait. Just looking at his photograph, and you did not know what we were talking about, what other crime do you think this man could have committed? I think I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start putting up photographs of people on the channel. And that's going to be a new segment to the Vault XL. Guess what he did? Guess what she did? Or title it, what crime did he commit? And I'm going to let you all just guess what the people have done. I would think he was a homeless person for robbing or something. Okay. Sad puppy dog, big doe-eyed black man, almost 70 years old. What do you think he had done? Jaywalking, stole a candy bar from Walmart, urinated on the side of a building, couldn't wait, couldn't hold his bladder, kicked a dog. No. Much worse than that. I don't know, Queen. What did he do? Take a wild guess. Exactly. Not sexually assaulting a 97-year-old woman. The woman is barely hanging on to life. God has blessed her to see 97, although she's basically incapacitated, but she's still alive, to my knowledge. It's a joy to say you're 97 and breathe it, even if you're sitting up and got dementia. And this dirty motherfucker, who I'm assuming these people know him, because what reason would he have to be in her room in hospice? Hospice is usually affiliated with a hospital. So what are you doing in her room if the family doesn't know him and the victim doesn't know him? Why is he there? So once again, I need confirmation who he is. Like I said, it's going to be really jacked up if this is indeed the victim's nephew. And as Steve was saying on his channel, imagine, okay, he's the nephew and he possibly fancied her as a young woman, if indeed he's a relative, and saw her in that way, that nasty way you're not supposed to see your relatives. Maybe she was a gorgeous gal back in her day, and he fancied her. Oh, God forbid something else went on between auntie and nephew. I don't know. But just saying, I'm just, piggybacking off of Steve's content. Because you don't know everything, you don't know people. But nonetheless, there comes a point in your own life, no matter the life you've led as a child, once you become an adult, you're supposed to know better and know right from wrong. And at 66, he should know having sex with an incapacitated human is against the law and it's immoral. It's sickening. Looks are always deceiving. That's the point. You hear people say ugly things about people when they're arrested, right? We've heard it with Gacy, Bundy, Dahmer. I'm sure people have something to say nasty about this guy, Rex Heuermann. But what did people have to say about them before they got an arrest record for their said crime? Were they ugly then? Just saying. Were people saying they look crazy then? Oh, he looks crazy. He looks crazy. He looks crazy. He looks crazy. Oh, he doesn't look right. He doesn't look right. Maybe to some, maybe not to all. And that's the whole thing. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And none of us are perfect. But my goodness, there's just certain things you should not be doing, okay? And like I said, we're not talking about stealing socks out of the Dollar Tree, stealing a candy bar out of Walmart. When you start talking about sexual assaulting women, men, children, tying them up, strangulation, torturing them, dumping their bodies in burlap near the damn ocean, you're on a whole new level. Jumping on top of a person that's almost dead in a hospice room, oh, you can't sink any lower. Now imagine the person watching the content, such as the niece. Naturally, she got a notification on her phone that someone has entered the room. And she's sitting here looking at a man either ejaculating or penetrating her auntie. I want you to think about that. How crazy that would be to be looking at your relative lying in a bed, damn near comatose, being raped. Such as the story out in California of the chaplain raping that white lady. He was white, she was white. And the daughter said, I knew something wasn't right with him. So I put a camera in my mother's room. And she and her husband watched the sexual assault of her mother by the chaplain. A chaplain. People are coming to you to pray about their loved one at the hospital, hospice care. And instead of you doing God's will, you're too busy waiting for people to get the fuck out the room so you can sexually assault them. That's what's crazy about both of these stories. The fact that you're willing to risk getting caught. That's another thing. This case here, he sexually assaulted her naturally the first time in order to ejaculate on her for the nurses to see the discharge. So that's when they tell the niece, and then she goes and gets the camera, put it in the room. He gets caught on the camera. But like they say, how many times he sexually assaulted her? How many other people has he sexually assaulted in his lifetime? And the fact you would do it in the daytime, in the middle of the day, not nighttime, when it's dark 30 and most of the staff are gone home. Middle of the day, you're willing to pull out your penis on top of a woman that's almost 100 years old. Come on now. Come on now. This is ridiculous. Well, let's pray she had no idea what was going on. Let's pray this elderly Black lady has dementia and she didn't even know what he was doing to her. And I am scared to even think of what he's done to her. Because you already know, depending on how long he's been visiting this lady and allegedly supposed to be aiding care for her, all what he's done to her. Stay woke. And what he's done in his lifetime. Because more than likely, this man had some type of improprieties probably done to him or in front of him as a child, because we've heard this so many times with sexual sadists, rapists, serial killers. They have experienced some type of sexual misdeeds as children. So I always throw that in there. And he's probably raped women before when he was younger. So he took advantage as an older person to do it to somebody he knew wouldn't fight back, wouldn't give him a fight, because she's bedridden. She can't get up, she can't move. Hello, Brooke, how are you? Timothy Moore, 66 years of age, Homestead, Florida. He has been accused of sexually assaulting a 97-year-old woman who was a hospice patient. Nursing staff looked in her private parts and saw a discharge, alerted her niece, and the niece put a Ring camera in her room and later saw this man sexually assaulting her and then called the police. The rest is history. As I keep saying, if you see something, say something. Be a part of the solution, not the problem. Lord, mind the elderly and the children. Oh, Queen has had an eventful evening. I tell myself not to get involved in other people's personal dilemmas because it can be dangerous and you can end up hurt, shot, stabbed. But there was a neighbor fussing and fighting and I heard stuff being thrown around and breaking, and I knew there were some children in there. So stupid me goes and bangs on the door, asking the person were they all right. Girl comes to the door, talking about what the guy did to her, this, that, and the other. And she starts saying, well, he's using meth and doing this and that. And I said, well, I don't really care about what y'all got going on. Let me make that clear. I don't want to hear it. You're disturbing the peace. And I know that there are children in there. And I'm concerned about the children. And if he is using meth, then why are you here? Yeah, you know how Queen is. I felt like I should have never said anything because I know that saying stuff to people can get you in an argument. Then you got bad blood because you got to walk by them, step over them. Also, the landlord, she don't give a fuck about nothing. And she's talking to her is like talking to a wall. And I don't know if I'm going to say something to the landlord because I don't think it'd be even worth saying anything. But it just pissed me off because I think the girl, she's part of the problem as well. I got a bad vibe about her. And she's a white girl and she's messing with this black guy, okay? And he's got some problems. I already heard, that he's been in rehab or whatever, having some issues. But the point is, you look stupid being in this room arguing with him about a cell phone, this and that. I've heard the conversation before in the door about a week or so ago. So my thing is, she's jealous. But guess what? The rest of us don't want to hear it. And it just pissed me off that these babies were in there. One, he looked like he was about 4, 5, maybe 5, 6 or something. Beautiful boy. He looked kind of white and biracial, kind of beautiful. And then she had a baby in a carrier. So she's doing all this arguing and screaming with a baby in a carrier, and he's standing there looking crazy. So I told the little boy to come here. I didn't give a fuck about her because you know Queen. I was about ready to whoop her ass anyway. I told the little boy, I said, come here. I said, you want a popsicle? And he was like, yeah. And then the mother, at first she acted like she didn't want him to come. And then he came to me. Do you know he hugged Queen? He got right up under Queen. And it's the way he got up, the way he held me. He held me like I was his mother. That's when you know shit is fucked up. So then the black guy, he's standing there saying, yeah, she broke my phone and da-da-da-da-da. And then And I said to him, I said, well, aren't you trying to leave? Are you trying to leave? And he said, yeah. He said, I can't leave because she got my phone. And I said, well, ma'am, you need to come out the apartment because you don't live here. You're raising hell over here and you don't stay here. So you need to come out with your children and let him get on about his way. Yeah, I was queen bee, baby. I don't play. I told her, I said, you need to come out of this apartment right now and bring your children out. If he's a meth head, what you want your children in there for? This is how stupid people are. And I get it. We all make mistakes, but damn. That's one thing Queen ain't done is chase no fucking crackhead. I don't play that shit. Now, I've liked a loser or two, but damn. You think I'm going to take my kids around a person that uses drugs or just got out of treatment or whatever? No, 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 and no. They're throwing down. I heard shit breaking. That's why I went over there and banged on the door. I was like, what is going on? And they came to the door, too. They opened that motherfucker, probably scared to death. But I felt so bad looking for that little boy. That little boy, he just looked so sad. And the way he put his arms around my waist, you know what I'm saying, my legs, it was horrible. So I told him, I said, well, hold my door open. I'm going to go get you a popsicle. And then she looked crazy at him and said, come back in here. Come back over here. She was scared because she knew I told her, I said, do you want me to call the police? I said, you coming out his apartment. I said, if you don't come out, I'll call the police. Because you don't have no business with those children in there while you two are arguing and fighting. And you know that. I said, you are not going to take them babies back in there. I wasn't playing with her ass. And then she's holding one baby in a carrier. And then she was saying, this one's mine, talking about the one that's walking. He's mine, but the one in the carrier is his baby. I thought, bitch, you don't need none of them. It took everything out of me not to go to jail tonight. I wanted to whoop her ass. Yes, I'm saying it. I'm saying it on this live stream. I want to whoop her ass. And some of you will probably say, well, Queen, he's a problem too. Yeah, I know he's a problem, but she's over there fussing and fighting about a phone and women. And then the stuff that she was saying, you could hear it through the door. Because I had my door cracked, matter of fact, because I was letting fresh air come in because, you know, people smoke in the building and smoke, you know, it's been rising in my apartment. So I said, let me air my apartment out before I turn in for the night. So I had my door cracked. All I kept hearing was, all you do is suck dick, your own meth, da 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 da. I thought, what the hell? What the hell is going on? So if he sucks penis, he's a dope head. Why do you want him? And why do you have your children around him? Oh my God. There are days I hate being an American. I hate being an American. I swear. This world makes me sick. It's shit like that that makes me sick, that keeps me irritated, that pisses me off. That's why there's days I'm walking around, I'm frowning, I'm irritated. The past couple months, I've been really irritated dealing with personal stuff and health stuff. And then you see shit like that, man, I could have wiped everybody's ass clean today. Because it took everything out of me to just grab her baby out that carrier, grab that little boy and shut my door and call the law. And then let me tell you what the black guy said. We already got an open DCS case right now. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. So now I feel bad because she went crawling behind him down the hallway, down the stairwell, chasing behind him down the hall with her kids. The little boy didn't have no shoes on. He had on socks, but he didn't have no shoes. And you know, Queen said something. I said, where are his shoes? Oh, they're in the car. So I'm looking at this bitch like, so you walked into this building with your 5-year-old, 4-year-old with no fucking shoes on? Dizzy wench. Man, I'm so sick of people. I'm just sick of motherfuckers. We're all fucked up. Just the damn story. And you know what I told myself? I told my friend I was talking to tonight on the phone while all this was going on, because I had to call her back because I had the phone in my hand and she was listening to the whole conversation. I told her, I said, in the end, I don't even have to call the police. I don't have to call DHS. I don't have to call the police, because eventually she's probably going to lose her kids. He's going to still get back out there on drugs, probably go to jail, prison, and she'll probably be out here God knows what as well. And so My friend was saying she's probably on the shit too. She's sitting there talking bad about him. She's probably on the drugs too. Because like you said, what does she want with him? And he's on drugs. Which she has a very good point. I know, honey. Your face is frowning worse than mine. This is all that's out here. People like this, raping 100-year-old women, baby mamas chasing dope heads, carrying their kids around while they're fighting and fussing and tussling and tearing up stuff. Because I could see through the door his TV was on the floor. He had like a little small TV or a computer monitor or something. I saw it on the TV, and I saw it on the floor knocked over, and I thought, well, she probably broke the TV. They broke the TV fighting in there. I was just sitting there thinking to myself, man, why do you want this chick? Why do you want her, and why does she want him? I'm just going to keep it real. He can't offer her anything. He can't offer that baby anything. These kids need to be in foster care or with a relative. And I got the right mind that the next time she comes over here, and as soon as I hear her voice, I'm going to dial 911, and I'm going to soup it up. God forgive me. But I'm tired of motherfuckers. Because I always, tell people, you can't preach about something and you don't walk the talk. So that's why I knocked on the door, because I talk about this all the time on the network. And, naturally I could have just ignored it. They got louder. I could have just ignored it, but I knew those kids were in there. And when I heard stuff breaking, it kind of scared me, because I was like, well, when you're fighting, you throw something, you could knock a kid down, knock a baby out of carrier, and I just wouldn't want that. But the sad part is that those kids left with that dizzy bat. It's just sad. Really sad. At least that baby got a beautiful hug from you. Oh, yeah. He's so handsome. Oh, my God, if you could see that little boy. Oh, he was beautiful. Oh, my God, I just wanted to take him in the apartment and shut the door. I'm telling you, it took everything out of me. I almost took that baby in his house. I would have got a kidnapping charge. They'd be reading about Queen on the news. Lady kidnaps kid, holds him in an apartment. Because that's exactly what she would have said. She took my baby. She took my baby in her apartment. Oh, Lord of mercy. This is why people don't like getting involved in stuff. I thought about that tonight. I said, this is why people don't call the police. This is why people don't testify. This is why people change their versions before testifying, when testifying. This is why people don't, because it is a problem. People are problems. And people just don't like to get involved because they know once you get involved, you can't go back. And God forbid you go to court, they'll ask you thousands of questions about your own personal life. That's what they do. Because now you're an eyewitness, so they got to make you look bad. Shit, I don't need that shit. Because I don't like courtrooms. I don't want to go in no courtroom. I don't want to go to the municipal building for a fucking thing. I went down there months ago to handle my voting registration business. But other than that, I wouldn't have never had to curl my black ass down there for nothing. It's just sad. Excuse my language, but it just pisses me off. Now, see, I might have a little talk with him and say, hey, let me tell you something. I might just tell him the truth. Hey, people are talking about you and they're talking about what you're doing. You don't want no smoke from none of us on this floor. You better kindly get your shit together. Don't have that girl back over here with those kids. Because I could tell, I think I put a little fear in his black ass. Because as soon as they open that door, he come running up out of her. She's got she messed my phone. She's got my phone. He's like a big old baby. She's got my phone. She's got my phone. And I guess they looked at me like shit, because I was just as tall as they were. Everybody standing out there is damn near 6 feet tall or taller. And I guess everybody's looking at each other crazy. I didn't, show out or nothing, but I just let them know, hey, you're loud, and I heard stuff breaking in there, and I know you got those kids in there. I said, I don't care what you two got going on. I don't care who did what to whom. I said, but it needs to stop because you've got kids. Somewhere else. That's exactly what I said. Take that out of here. We don't want to hear it. And I said, and woman, you shouldn't want to be in here with your kids doing this shit any damn way. Why you got your kids in here? And then you're sitting there calling him a meth head, and then got the nerve to say he sucks dick. Can you believe that? I couldn't believe that came out of her mouth. Before I knocked on the door, I could hear all of that. All you do is suck dick, suck dick. That's all you do. I thought, where is this coming from? This is crazy, you guys. Then you all wonder why I stay irritated all the time. This is the kind of stuff I have to put up with listening. Everywhere I've lived, it's been the same type of people. That's why when people say money is the root to all evil, no, it ain't. It wouldn't be for Queen, because I get the fuck on somewhere. The hell? I don't care what nobody say. I go find me a little miniature chateau somewhere. Hey, we ain't got no neighbors right close by. It ain't in no apartment. It ain't none of that. It ain't none of that. You got to have a higher income bracket to get away from this type of nonsense. And it's not to say, nothing bad wouldn't happen if I was living in a $3,000 apartment or condo. But the point is, a lot of people who make decent money, they go to work, they go home, they want to rest, they want to drink a beer or drink a little wine when they get home or read a book, and then they go to bed because they got to get up and go to work in the morning. They don't have time for all this old crazy ass type of nonsense. People who care about their lives and their livelihood, they try their best not to get themselves wrapped up in the drama. And like I said, we all make mistakes. We choose crazy people to deal with on occasion, got crazy relatives, different things. But there just comes a time when you have to tell yourself, you have to remove yourself from crazy people. If you're dealing with somebody that's violent, they use drugs, they sell drugs, you already know how that shit's going to end for you. You got your kids in that type of environment. You know how that's going to end for you. So it's on you. It's on you. But like, somebody was saying tonight, the kids don't need to be hearing that. So here comes my neighbor. She's coming down the hall with her elderly mother. And the elderly mother said, did you call the police? And I said, no. She said, don't call. And I'm looking at her crazy like, why not? And she's like, don't call. That girl was in there arguing with him last week about that damn phone business. It won't do no good. And so her daughter looked at me and said, yeah, the police and all them, they come out. Probably it won't make a bit of difference. And I said, well, I wasn't going to call the police. I was just telling her I'll call her. She didn't come out that apartment with those kids. So she brought her ass out of there because she acted like she didn't want to come out the apartment. So that's why I knew she was a troublemaker. Well, she's wanting to go back in there. For what? She see he's got his backpack on. He's trying to leave. Why are you trying to stay in the apartment? So she was like, well, I'm not coming out here until I get my phone. I'm like, lady, the show is over. You need to come out the apartment. He's trying to leave. And you're scaring your kids, for God's sakes. Come on, grow up. I'm telling y'all, I wanted to whoop her ass. I told my friend that when I went back in the apartment. I said I wanted to whoop her ass. It's just something about her. It's something about her ain't right. It's something sneaky about that damn girl. It was just something sneaky about her. I don't trust her. I'm not saying he's a saint, but I'm saying it's something sneaky about her. Because the way she tried to push her son back in the apartment, when I said, hey, little Belle, when I said, here, come over here and get this popsicle, it's like she changed her mind. And then she grabbed him, come here, come on, come over here. And I thought, honey, ain't no hiding in his apartment. You ain't running nothing up in here. You don't even live here, sister. Because all I had to do was dial the number. You think I want to dial 911? Hell yeah. When it comes to them kids, I will. I done told people that. I'll fight for them kids. I don't give a fuck about the grown-ups. But I didn't call the police because I didn't want no problems with him. Because if he's doing drugs or selling drugs out of there and the police come, then he'll know, okay, well, that lady called, well, oh, she's a snitch, blah, blah, blah. And I ain't need that type of shit, running around the building. But the point is, I need to be on a drone somewhere. That's all I'm going to say. I need to be on a drone. I need somebody to come pick up Queen and say, Queen, you've had enough of that. We going to take you across the United States, somewhere else, where the grass is a whole lot greener. Damn. But I always tell myself that if I was to right now coming to a lump sum of money. Go buy me a nice little house somewhere. I probably wouldn't be in that house 1 week. It would be something. Do you hear me? It'd be Planet of the Apes versus Godzilla versus something. Something bad will come up out of the ground. Earthquake. It'd be something crazy. I'm telling you, that's how I think. I wouldn't get a week's rest in a new place. Somewhere really nice, serene, not cooped up in a building, nice neighborhood. Oh, fuck. And then that's what's so crazy. The neighborhood I live in is a nice neighborhood. It's the people in the building that's the problem. It's like anywhere. Nothing wrong with the neighborhood. The neighborhood is fine. So I'll make sure I make that clear during this live. The neighborhood's not the problem. It's a great neighborhood. It's the fucking people that's the problem. And it's just like, Jesus. But I always used to say that when I hear these stories, and I'll say, oh, I know they heard something kind of like that Idaho 4 business. Ain't no way. This man's in his house killing up all these people and you ain't heard nothing. Y'all up trying to order DoorDash and this and that. You don't hear nothing. So it's no different than what I was listening to tonight. I can hear it through the door and you can probably hear in that house. Old ass house. You can hear somebody running up the stairs and shaking beds and girls screaming. Come on now. It's what you tolerate. What you're willing to get involved in. Yeah, people are scary. They're very scary. The world is scary. Every time I go into YouTube queue, I tell myself, stop looking at YouTube. Because every time I hit the button, I just scroll through the videos, and I just be like, damn, there ain't nothing good. All this shit is depressing in here. Just 2 people shot, 5 people shot. Like Texas, they had a shooting in Texas. Somebody has a party. This guy shows up uninvited, and they ask him to leave, so now he wants to shoot everybody. What, he shot about 14 people? Damn, it's crazy. And do you know I'm so discombobulated? I thought it was Saturday until my friend tonight told me, Angela, it is Sunday. Where have you been? I said, oh my God. I said, well, hell, I guess I'm alive. You're on the phone talking to me. Hell, I thought maybe I had died or something and came back. I just thought, how did you miss a whole day? That's scary as fuck. I got to get it together. I was in such a good mood today. Once again, I don't know what it is, but I've been playing my little Bluetooth box, and I just kind of like zoned out into a whole nother universe to where I done lost track of what damn day it is. I thought today was Saturday. Girl, that's why I got to get up. She said, I got to get up and go to work in the morning. It's like, oh my God. My brain is gone. Oh, my brain is fried. I guess I was just feeling so good. The past couple of days, I've been in a really good mood. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, but I was listening to a Stevie Wonder song, All I Do. That song kind of makes me cry. I got a little teary-eyed listening to it, and I said, well, Queen, you're not depressed, so what's going on? I should have known the devil was on his way to go stir up some shit, because I started getting emotional listening to that song, and I thought, oh, I smell bullshit. I said, I smell bullshit. Your mood's about to change here in a minute. But no, I'm feeling good. I'm still feeling okay. Just, I think that I had a little drink earlier, and maybe it's got me a little lightheaded, a little headachy, but other than that, I'm fine. I said I might eat me another pizza or something before I shower or whatever. But yeah, that's Queen's evening weekend. I've had a really good weekend, despite this bullshit tonight with these young people. But I let God take care of it because it's not my responsibility. And one thing I've learned about life, you can't save everybody. And so, I don't care about the adults. They don't mean anything to me. I'm not like the landlord. She likes to coddle people. I'm not coddling no adults. If you're not under 18, you know what I'm saying? If you're under 18, you've got my full support. But anything over 18, you're on your damn own. I'm not coddling you, holding your hand and trying to preach to you about right and wrong. You do whatever you want. And I let both of them know I don't care about what you all are doing in that apartment and talking about. I'm concerned for the children. I don't give a fuck. This world is just jacked up. Yeah, I love Stevie. Love Stevie Wonder. Well, I'm not gonna hold you all because I'm 40 minutes into this video, and I was supposed to only be a few minutes, and I said I was trying to learn how to see if I can learn how to do a under 10-minute video. Yeah, right. That never happens with Queen. But anyway, pray for the Queen. This is biopsy week. Friday, allegedly, I'm supposed to get the biopsy done. So we're going to pray that everything turns out okay. It ain't the big C or nothing like that. But either way, she's going to take it out anyway. But they're just going to test the nodule to see what's going on in there. But I know she's going to have me go under the knife. And I ain't worried about that because I had it done before on the right side. But anywho, this black buzzard here, 66 years of age, sexually assaulted a 97-year-old woman who was a hospice patient. Discharge was coming out of the lady. When checked by the nurses, they notified her niece. Niece put a camera in the room, and she saw this thing having sexual assault with her auntie. That's the latest. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you all for conversating with me, listening to me rant, listening to me break the news down. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. Take the polls on my community page. And tomorrow is the big day. Sean Puffy Combs gets a jury this week, everybody. Jury deliberations start for P. Diddy tomorrow morning in New York City. I'm gonna be there, OB Square. I'm gonna be listening, tuning in. I'm gonna try to get enough rest so I can be up with a bushy tail so we can get this jury selected. We're gonna lean on faith that 12 members of a jury will find him guilty, because we definitely don't need that walking around. So we can hear more damn stories of sexual assault and BS. Oh, make it make sense. Lolo said, let's go. You got that right, because I'm ready to get this case over with. After you hear a case day for day, you can't wait for it to get a jury and go to trial. I'm waiting for Idaho 4 to be over with, which is August. I'm sick of Annie Taylor crying and moaning in front of the judge. I'm ready for Rex Heuermann to go before the judge. Those would be my big cases. I'm ready to go. Nobody else left after them but an arrest for Sebastian Rogers and Summer Wells. Put them to bed. Amen. Put them to bed. Sick of this nonsense. 2 little kids. No arrest nor disappearance of these children. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. That's the latest, everybody. I'm trying to think. I think I had put up a poll once about sexual assault. Should a person get a bond, even if it's their first time being accused of rape or child molestation? Should a person get a bond? I think I put up a poll a couple months ago. Now, some people will say, well, a person should get a chance at bond because what if it's a false accusation, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's how people feel about the death penalty. That's why it takes damn near 10 years or more before they get put to death. I guess just in case you've got the wrong person. They didn't do it. But these days, there's an eye in the sky everywhere. Most people are not crafty enough not to leave some type of DNA. And that's how they get caught. It is what it is. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Take the polls on my community page. Check out my shorts and my extensive library, 3,000 plus videos. Today I shared an older video from the Camille McKinney case because I was just going through the queue, and that video has 89,000 views. That is the only video I have under my name with that many views. Sadly, a lot of my videos don't get a lot of views. Why? I don't know. I guess because I don't show content on my computer screen, because that one I have, it's older and it doesn't have that capacity. And really, when I came to the network, I just wanted to be a laid back type of YouTuber where I just, sit in a chair, kind of like the old days when I was a little girl, when they would have a guy sit in a chair and spin a story, narrate a story. That's the kind of content I was trying to bring. And then I got myself wrapped up in this other true crime stuff, and it just went downhill. It just went downhill from there. But I like talking about life. I like sharing stories. I like sharing situations with people. I see a lot of networks, they only talk about one type of content, and that's not who I am. I'm not that kind of person because I'm very diverse. I like a lot of things in life, so I can't just sit up and talk about one thing. That's not my nature. So I think that's what I need to do, is find me a comfortable chair and just spin stories and go to the street, interview people, talk to people. I have a few videos where I've talked to people on the street. Yeah, that might be what I do. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow. Find me a victim. Find somebody. If I do, I'll find somebody that wants to talk about P. Diddy. So what do you think? Do you think 12 members of a jury will find him guilty or not guilty? Weigh in. Oh, no, they shouldn't do anything. He's a nice guy. They're making it up. They just want the money. Oh, thank you, Glares. I appreciate that, sweetheart. I appreciate that. Yeah, I miss that. Yeah, when I was a little girl, I used to watch, what was that, Channel 9, WGN. And on Sundays, there would be a guy kind of like sitting in a chair narrating what the movie was about, between the commercial breaks. And that's the type of content I like, where you just sit in front of the camera in your little chair and you just shoot the shit with the audience. How you doing? What's going on? Hey, let me tell you about this situation. And you just go from there. But I know most people are visual people because I know I'm a visual person. That's why most people who show content on the computer screen, that's why they get a lot of views, because people want to see who you're talking about. So if I sat in a chair and just told you this story about him, you got to go now to Google and pull his face up. Most people, when you're spinning a story, they want you to look at you talking, and then they want to look at this person too. And, see if you're animated, blah, 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 which I'm not dressed tonight. I didn't feel like spiffing up just to talk about a rapist. So I'm not that vain. I said, I'll show them his picture because there's no video on the news yet about the story, because I looked before I went live and I couldn't find any news reports of this story, but I'm sure they'll probably have something up by tonight. But anywho, this is who he is. Timothy Morris. He's a dirty bird, looking all sad and puppy dog face. Oh, Glitters, thank you. Now, there's your title. Didn't steal candy bar from Walmart or the Dollar Tree. Didn't jaywalk. Didn't pee on the side of the liquor store. Raped a 97-year-old lady. But as I told you all, that's something I'm going to start doing on the network just because of this little guy right here. I'm going to start putting people's pictures up just like this, and there won't be no title. And I'm going to ask you to guess what the person did. That's going to be a new segment on the Vault XL. What do you think she did, he did? What crime did she or he commit? That's going to be a new segment. Thank you all so much for the love. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are welcome during the live stream. Thank you for your time. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful week. tomorrow morning, there will be several people who will get the opportunity of a lifetime to sit in a jury box for racketeering, rape, trafficking charges against Sean Puffy Combs. I'll see you all tomorrow. Good night, everybody. Justice for the missing, those who have been assaulted, those who have been unalived, justice for them. Let's see what happens with Cassie Ventura. Who all's going to testify in this trial? Lord, I can't wait to see. Oh, my goodness. Will they show it? That's another thing. Who's going to film this trial? Will they allow Court TV or Law and Crime to film the trial? Curious. I'll see you all tomorrow. Drop them comments. I want to hear what you have to say about this dirty bird right here. And about Sean Puffy Combs, too. Talk to you guys later. You've been listening to the Vault XL. Thank you.